Wait, did Trump's Truth Social just file for a crypto ETF that includes XRP? And why are analysts whispering that XRP is about to make its loudest move yet, one that could even outpace Bitcoin? Something doesn't add up here, or maybe it finally does. Let's rewind. Truth Social, yes, the same platform tied to Donald Trump, just submitted a filing that stunned the crypto world. According to a fresh update from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, Truth Social, through its parent company Trump Media and Technology Group, has filed for a brand new crypto ETF. Not just any ETF, a blue-chip crypto ETF, and XRP is in it. This marks yet another move into crypto by the Trump-linked media firm. But here's the twist. Unlike earlier filings that focus solely on Bitcoin or Ethereum, this ETF is broader, more diversified, and far more strategic. Here's what the allocation looks like. 70% Bitcoin, 15% Ethereum, 8% Solana, 5% Cronos, and just 2% XRP. But that 2%, it might be the most explosive part of this story. Why? Because XRP is currently sitting in a pressure cooker, consolidating, coiling, and holding strong above its previous cycle highs for 8 straight months. Analysts are calling it a loaded spring. Back to the ETF. The filing was made via an S-1 registration form, the same form required to launch a publicly traded security. If approved, the ETF would trade on the New York Stock Exchange under the guidance of Yorkville America Digital, with Forex DAX Trust acting as the custodian. And it doesn't stop there. Trump Media recently inked a partnership with Crypto.com to launch what they call Made in America investment products. And that's exactly why Cronos, Crypto.com's native token, made the ETF cut. So now we have XRP grouped alongside Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. And while it holds the smallest slice of the pie, its inclusion is a statement in itself. Because make no mistake, XRP isn't just idling in the background. Let's talk about that. For 8 months, XRP has quietly traded above its 2017-2018 cycle high. No fanfare, no fireworks, just silence. And yet, that silence might be the very thing that screams the loudest. Nick, also known as Crypto Crusader, says what's happening isn't stagnation, it's structure. XRP is coiling, building pressure, and preparing to explode. Another top analyst, CrediBULL Crypto, points to XRP's price action as one of the cleanest among all altcoins. Since breaking out from 50 cents, XRP has entered a new phase of consolidation, one that he believes is setting the stage for an expansion wave that most won't see coming. And here's the kicker. CrediBULL notes that XRP is now in its 8th month of trading above its previous cycle peak, something few other altcoins can claim. This, he says, is exactly what major breakouts look like before they happen. Meanwhile, others are sleeping on XRP. Nick puts it bluntly, traders have gotten impatient, bearish, distracted. But the coin, it's been sitting quietly above $2, holding steady, grinding sideways. And that's exactly when the market usually gets caught off guard. There's more. With Bitcoin dominance still hovering above 60%, we haven't seen the altcoin wave yet. And history shows us something important. The final altcoin wave tends to be the most violent, the most unexpected, the most profitable. This is when capital leaves Bitcoin and floods into coins like XRP. If XRP keeps trading above key support levels, the months of silence might give way to a rally that redefines expectations. Even day trader CryptoRD is on board. He points to 32 weeks of holding pattern and says only one thing is missing: a single weekly bullish candle. After that, it's inevitable. Don't fight it. He's not alone. CrediBULL says $20 to $40 XRP is not just possible, it's conservative, and he's not the only one targeting sky-high numbers. Enter Nathaniel Rothschild. Yes, that Rothschild. In a post that lit up the XRP community, Rothschild boldly claimed that $36 for XRP is not an unrealistic target. He backed it up too, citing key milestones at $7 and $13 that must be reached first. That's where things get tricky, because for XRP to reach $36 from today's $2.27 level, it needs a 1,500% rally. That means a $2.1 trillion market cap, roughly equal to all of Bitcoin's current value. At that level, XRP wouldn't just be one of the top cryptos. It would be worth more than silver, Facebook, and even Saudi Aramco. Critics are calling it delusional, but the believers? They're calling it overdue. Bitwise and Telegon project a more conservative timeline, 2030 or later, but some analysts like Dustin Layton and Igrag say otherwise. Layton says XRP will hit at least $50 this year. Igrag says $37 is on the table, and $9 is the backup if the breakout fails. That's the kind of energy bubbling in the XRP community right now. Even in Rothschild's comments section, the mood is mixed. Some say $36 is cheap. Others argue XRP hasn't even reclaimed $3 and shouldn't talk big just yet. But the takeaway? The XRP army is energized, more than they've been in years. And just as that fire is catching on, another signal emerges, this time in the XRP BTC chart. For the fifth time in 30 days, XRP is challenging the 0.000021162 BTC resistance level. Every time it's tried, it's failed. But this time, CrediBULL thinks it could be different. His chart shows a potential breakout above the horizontal barrier that has stopped XRP cold for a month. If it clears it and closes above, it could run to 0.002646 BTC, which equals a $2.86 XRP price. If it keeps pushing, 370 cents comes next. But rejection here could send it back to 0.0001938 BTC support, the last line of defense for bulls. That's the crossroads we're at right now. Because while Bitcoin keeps retesting its all-time highs, XRP has been stuck around $2. But if XRP BTC finally breaks out, XRP could be ready to play catch-up, and then some. And if history repeats, it wouldn't be the first time. Back in 2017, after Trump took office, XRP pulled off a rally that shocked everyone, gaining nearly 69,000% in just 10 months. Sound familiar? Back in 2017, XRP went from 55 Fez to 39 cents in 3 months. Then it cooled off, just for a while, because in December of that same year, it exploded again, from 23 cents to $3.80 in just 4 weeks. The result? An outrageous, barely believable 69,000% rally. Fast forward to now, and we're seeing eerie similarities. After Trump returned to office in November 2024, XRP surged from 50 cents to 340s by January 2025, a 580% rally in 3 months. And since then, consolidation. For 6 straight months, XRP has held steady, quietly mimicking its exact 2017 behavior. Now we're back at the waiting stage, and if the pattern continues, we may be one candle away from ignition. XRP Crypto, a well-known XRP chart analyst, pointed this out weeks ago. He believes we're in the calm before the second wave. And if XRP were to mimic its 2017 trajectory, we're not just looking at $5 or even $10. We could be looking at a price between $20 and $30 by the end of this cycle. CrediBULL agrees. He says XRP's real run only begins once it breaks above 3 and holds. After that, the targets expand dramatically. Let's not forget, in 2017, the second leg of XRP's rally made up more than 20% of its total gains. If that same energy returns, XRP could go from its current 2 to 27s all the way to $5, $6, or even $7.80 just in the second leg alone. And that's assuming it doesn't blow past previous boundaries. But there's more fueling this fire. Raoul Pal, the macro investor and Real Vision founder, says this current cycle mirrors 2017 almost perfectly. He attributes the repeat behavior to one thing: Trump. Back in 2016, markets freaked out. The dollar surged, financial conditions tightened. Then came the pivot. The dollar weakened, risk assets pumped, and crypto exploded. Sound familiar? The same exact thing happened in late 2024 and early 2025. Trump wins again. The dollar surges, then weakens. Now, we're at the edge of the next wave. Raoul Pal says this is not coincidence. It's macro rhythm. And the implications for altcoins like XRP, they're enormous. Because in 2017, XRP didn't lead the charge. It lagged. But when it broke out, it left everything behind. Now, we're seeing analysts everywhere turning their attention back to XRP, and not just because of the charts. The SEC has already greenlit multiple ETFs. And new filings for Solana and XRP ETFs from heavyweights like Bitwise and Franklin Templeton are pending. If approved, XRP gets its spot on Wall Street. Add to that the Truth Social ETF, which already includes XRP as a top component, and suddenly we're looking at a domino effect. What happens when institutional money finally gets indirect access to XRP? What happens when mainstream headlines catch up to the quiet rally that XRP has been forming beneath the surface? What happens when XRP breaks the $3 mark for the first time since 2018? Retail wakes up, institutions pour in, and the media goes wild. That's how viral rallies begin. And if the ETF approvals line up with a macro tailwind, the XRP rocket might already be on the launch pad. All it needs now is the ignition candle. So let's recap everything. We saw how Trump's Truth Social shocked the crypto world by filing for a blue-chip crypto ETF, including XRP. We explored why XRP's long silent consolidation might be the most powerful bullish signal of the cycle. We broke down what analysts like CrediBULL Crypto Crusader, and Nathaniel Rothschild are seeing: a hidden breakout setup, historical pattern alignment, and price targets that go far beyond expectations. We looked at how XRP's current price action eerily mirrors its 2017 explosion. We examined Raoul Pal's macro thesis about Trump cycles, the weakening dollar, and risk-on rallies. And we dug into what happens if XRP ETFs are approved alongside broader market momentum. Add it all up: Trump's ETF push, XRP's silent coil, the repeat of the 2017 pattern, and a community more fired up than ever. Will XRP repeat the 69,000% move? We'll see soon enough. But one thing is clear: this story is only just beginning. Like, subscribe, and let us know below. Will XRP break $3 this month? What's your end-of-cycle target? And are the institutions already getting in before we even notice? Stay tuned, because XRP is waking up, and this time it might be louder than ever. And the question smart traders are asking now isn't if XRP will move, it's when.